Oh, hey class. Just like I promised, I'm going to do some videos for you. So hopefully you can see my whiteboard over here. And I'm going to do some extra review, okay? So I want to start off with parent functions. So this video is about parent functions. And remember, those are the simplest of their kind. And so we're taking the parent function, and then in the quiz, you're given another function, and you're having to compare it back to the parent function, okay? So I really need you to memorize those parent functions. So if we have a quadratic, right? A quadratic, the parent function is f of x is equal to x squared, okay? And then how do I get a table for that? Well, you can either graph this and steal some points, or you can input some x values to get a table, right? And so if I plug in, I always like to just take some negatives and some positives. And so if I take -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, those have been the common ones that we've been doing. And if I plug those into the parent function, I'm going to get my y values, right? So -2 squared, that gives me a +4. -1 squared, +1. 0 squared, 0. 1 squared, 1. And 2 squared is 4. And so this is the parent function, right? We're going to get this nice parabola that's at 0, 0 and goes up, okay? The parent functions, again, you need to have these memorized. So this is the quadratic, okay? Then let's try another one. Let's do the absolute value. This is just parent functions. So absolute value is its simplest term. So it's just the absolute value of x. And again, if I want to make a table, I can take some negatives and some positives. So I'm going to just use the same ones. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And I'm going to plug those in. Absolute value means it's the distance from 0. So -2, the distance from 0 is just a +2. So we have 2. The absolute value of a -1 is 1. Absolute value of 0 is 0. 1 is 1. And 2 is 2. And so this gives us the V shape, right? And it can keep going, so arrows. So the absolute value of the parent function of the absolute value, okay? And then the last one we've been doing majority of is the square root function, right? So let's look at that one. So parent function is f of x is equal to the square root of x. This is the parent function of the square roots, or another word is called radical. So if you see the word radical, it means square root. Now in this case, I don't want any negatives under my square root, so my x values can't be negative. So I can only use positive for my table. Okay, so I can use 0, and then I would use some pretty ones. I would personally use 4 and 9 and 16, okay? And the reason for that is the absolute value of 0, the square root of 0 is 0, but the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 16 is 4, okay? So again, you need to memorize these parent functions and how to get some points. And then this graph, if I graph these, I get this curve, right? And so you'll notice there's no negative x values and there's no negative y values for the parent function. But as we change it, as we transform it, you could get some negatives. So the next video is going to be about transformations, but this one was about parent functions, and I wanted you to make sure you have those memorized. All right, thanks guys.